So, what are these circadian rhythms? Well, these are roughly about 24-hour cycles controlled by your brain. They tell your body when to be alert and when to sleep. Basically, because of these rhythms, you have peaks and valleys of alertness all day long. Now, it shouldn't be too hard to figure out that if you want your best writing and product production to happen, you need to be creating at your peaks of alertness during the day. Yeah, I know if you're still working the dreaded job, you can't always be working on your stuff when you're at work, but you may find you have other periods of alertness during the day when you aren't at work. Like the Harvard article said, maybe 6 p.m. after work, you could stay at the office and create stuff, or you could rush home and work for an hour or so while your energy is still up. Of course, you still have the weekend where hopefully you don't have to go to work and you have better control over your schedule. And yeah, I know many of you have family obligations, and this is where negotiating comes in. Maybe you say that you need 2 hours of uninterrupted time Saturday morning, and then you and the family are going to go to the park to ride bikes and play frisbee or whatever you happen to negotiate. Then in the late afternoon, you do another uninterrupted session, and then it's movie night. Or so you figure out what works for you and your family. Just figure it out. For me, things have changed drastically over the years, especially during college when staying up late was pretty much I'll call it the norm of the dorm, okay? Then I had a nightclub for 6 years where staying up until 4 a.m. was common, and I rarely got up before 11 a.m. Now, during all those years, I was a card-carrying night owl. I'd say pretty much most of my life I was a night owl. Then in the past several years, I totally switched, and I head up to bed at about 9 o'clock, and most of the time I'm asleep by 11. I get up at 6, take care of the dogs, and I'm at my computer by 7 a.m. when it's quiet and I can bang out content. Now, it's even surprising to me that I made such a switch, and it seems to have come naturally. We'll find out later. I think it kind of did. But it's surprising because it's difficult to fight your natural circadian rhythms. Now, according to proofreadnow.com, you can actually change your circadian rhythms, but you must be consistent. I think I got in that habit by forcing myself to go to bed earlier because I had early morning consultations. After doing it for a while consistently, I started feeling better, and I even felt a greater sense of accomplishment when I got up early and got a bunch of stuff done or great progress on my next product before the workday technically started. Another thing that helps you keep a consistent circadian rhythm is to turn off all screens and bright lights an hour or so before you go to bed. I even wear an eye covering mask to keep a consistent sleep pattern, and I make it totally dark. Now, when you keep these consistent patterns and create habits at your alertness peaks, your brain loves this and functions way better than if it never really knows what to expect. You know, if you're all over the place and you're never consistent with your sleep patterns and everything, your brain is not going to function at its peak. Now let's talk about the 90-minute rule. Famous researchers like Nathan Kleitman and Anders Ericsson found that even in your peak periods of alertness, you have ups and downs in the actual amount of alertness. And this is called, I don't know if they coined this or not, but Ultradian Rhythm or Ultradian, I don't know, some Ultradian Rhythm. What it is 90 minutes of alertness followed by 20 minutes of rest led to people's peak performance. They call this doing sprints instead of like working the grind all day long. Apparently, Kleitman found that your brain can only focus for 90 to 120 minutes at a time. Then it